As we get ready for another day that the Lord has made for us and so graciously allowed us to rise this morning and have our being, we know that there is a divine purpose for each and every one of us if God allowed us to wake up today. So I want you to pursue that purpose today. And as I was reading Psalm chapter 78 this morning, getting ready for the devotion time, began to think about the generation that's coming up behind us and just how much do they know about the Lord. It is our responsibility as parents, as grandparents, as leaders in the church to equip and make sure that the generation that is coming up behind us, the generation who will carry the Word of God and discern the Word of God and teach the Word of God, but first they must know the Word of God. In Psalm chapter 78, the psalmist really tells us this morning that it's not just what we tell them about God, but it's what we show them about God. I want you to listen to verses 4 and 7 this morning as I kind of put them two together. It says, showing to the generation to come the praises of the Lord and His strength and His wonderful works that He has done, that they might set their hope in God. The psalmist is here making a public covenant to keep careful record not only of God's blessings in his life, but to begin to recount them to the generations that will follow him. Yet the thought in this verse also clearly contains the idea of showing, not just telling. And that is very important because we know that children not just listen to what we say. Children watch what we do. The first example that the psalmist gives here, he says the praises of the Lord is one that must be shown. It cannot simply be described or communicated to the Lord. So many times we tell our children or our grandchildren, just pray to the Lord, just trust in the Lord. But are they seeing that actively in our lives every day? It is possible to merely talk about the praises of the Lord, but the psalmist is promising to do more than that. He is saying, I will not only communicate, I will emulate the praises of the Lord in my life every day before my children, before my grandchildren. I will not only tell them that God is faithful, my life will prove to them that God has been faithful. In every instance and in every moment, do not cease to ever show your children, but also tell your children that everything you have, everything that God does is a blessing from Him, and everything that you have and have gone through and made it through, every health issue, make sure that they understand that you trusted God through those situations. Because what you are showing and telling your children about God and how to worship God, that's important. What does it say to your family when you consistently miss church or don't acknowledge the Lord, or the Bible isn't the centerpiece of your home, or you don't pray together? Is it showing them the praises of God, or is it communicating something else to them? Here we recognize that the stakes could not be higher. He is making a public commitment that in the coming generations behind us, they not only have to hear that God is faithful to us, our life has to show them that God is faithful. There's a lot coming into the life of this generation of children. Every single day, they open up a whole world right before their eyes, and they can sit there for hours and consume all that the world has for them, or all that somebody else wants to teach them through social media or through iPads and phones. But what are we telling them about God? And more importantly, what are we showing them that God can do in our lives? Don't let them trust the world, because the world's going to let them down. Tell them to put their trust in the Lord. If you can put it into them early, it will sustain them through their lives. Because the Word of God is true, that if you train up a child in the way they should go, when they are old, they will not depart from it. The Word will always be with the children in their adulthood, if it's not only spoken, but it's shown in their lives. So I speak that blessing over you today, and we need to pray for our children today. We need to pray for those who teach our children. We need to pray for those who are around our children today, that the influence and the impact would be one of positive, that it would bring a meaningful change in their lives for the better and grow them closer to the Lord. So I speak that this morning. I speak Jesus over each and every one of our families, over each and every person that is listening to our devotion time today. You make a covenant with God today that you are not only going to tell your children about the Lord, but you're going to show them how active He can be in your family and in your homes. Today you be safe, you be strong, and you be blessed. And Lord's will, we'll see you back here again tomorrow. And until then, as always, I hope you have a great day.